Imagine if one seemingly ordinary evening could change your life forever, all because of a baseless accusation. Picture being a child, standing helplessly in a courtroom, surrounded by strangers' judgmental stares, while your accuser, someone society trusts to uphold the law, points a finger at you. This is the story of Ethan, a brave 13-year-old boy who found himself in an unimaginable situation but refused to let injustice define him. It all started on a calm evening in a peaceful suburban neighborhood. The streets were quiet, the air crisp, and laughter echoed as 13-year-old Ethan played soccer with his friends on a patch of green near his house. Their carefree game was filled with dreams of becoming the next big sports stars. But fate had other plans for Ethan that night. Meanwhile, Officer Daniels, a seasoned police officer nearing his mid-40s, was driving home after a long, exhausting shift. With his bald head gleaming under the dim streetlights, his thoughts were likely focused on the comfort of home. Suddenly, the tranquility was shattered, quite literally. A rock came hurtling through the air, smashing into the windshield of his patrol car. Startled and furious, Daniels slammed on the brakes. His anger boiled over as he jumped out of the car, scanning the area for the culprit. A group of boys playing nearby caught his eye, and without hesitation, he stormed over. His sharp gaze landed on Ethan, who had frozen mid-step, holding a soccer ball in his hands. "Did you just throw that rock at my car?" Daniels bellowed, his face flushed with rage. Shocked and confused, Ethan stammered, "No, sir, I didn't. I swear, I didn't do anything." But Daniels wasn't listening. In his mind, he had already decided Ethan was guilty. His voice thundered again, "Don't lie to me." He grabbed Ethan's arm with a firm grip, his tone leaving no room for argument. "I saw you do it. You're coming with me." Hearing the commotion, Ethan's parents rushed outside, alarmed and protective. His mother's voice trembled with urgency as she pleaded, "Please, officer, listen to us. Ethan has been playing here the whole time. He would never do something like this." But Officer Daniels was unyielding, his anger clouding his judgment. Without giving the family a chance to explain further, he called for backup, and within minutes, Ethan was arrested right there in front of his friends and neighbors. The once joyful evening had turned into a nightmare for the young boy and his family. The image of Ethan being taken away in a police car, his parents standing helplessly behind, became a haunting memory. Ethan's heart raced with fear and confusion. How had a game of soccer turned into this? He had never been in trouble before, yet here he was, being accused of a crime he didn't commit. Days later, Ethan found himself standing in a courtroom, the weight of false accusations pressing down on his young shoulders. The once confident and carefree boy now faced a sea of judgmental faces, each pair of eyes silently convicting him before the trial even began. His parents sat right behind him, their expressions a mix of worry and determination, unwavering in their belief in Ethan's innocence. The proceedings began, and Officer Daniels took the stand. With a voice full of conviction and authority, he pointed his finger at Ethan and declared, "I saw him throw the rock. There's no doubt in my mind." His words carried the weight of his badge, and for a moment, the courtroom seemed to side with him. After all, who would dare question a police officer? Ethan sat silently, his heart pounding. The odds were stacked against him, and he could feel the weight of the system pressing him down. His parents clenched their hands tightly, their faith in their son battling against the tide of disbelief in the room. But then, something remarkable happened. Ethan, just 13 years old, decided he wouldn't let fear silence him. With trembling hands and a voice that quivered yet held firm, he stood up. The room fell silent, all eyes now on the boy who was determined to prove his innocence. "Your Honor," Ethan began, his voice steadying with every word, "I didn't throw the rock. I can prove it." The judge, intrigued by the boy's courage, nodded for him to continue. Ethan walked forward and handed a piece of paper to the judge. It was a grainy image, captured by a neighbor's security camera. The footage showed the exact moment the rock was thrown, and it wasn't Ethan in the frame. Instead, it revealed another teenager on a bike, the real culprit, hurling the rock before quickly riding away. The courtroom buzzed with murmurs as the judge examined the evidence. The image was irrefutable, a clear testament to Ethan's innocence. Turning to Officer Daniels, the judge's tone grew stern. "How do you explain this?" he demanded. Daniels stammered, his confidence unraveling as the truth came to light. The very foundation of his accusation crumbled in front of everyone. Ethan's parents wept tears of relief and pride as they embraced their son, whispering, "You stood up for yourself, Ethan. We're so proud of you." But the story didn't end there. Justice wasn't fully served until Officer Daniels was held accountable for his reckless actions. The judge reprimanded him for his baseless accusations, and Ethan's family filed a lawsuit for the trauma and defamation they had endured. Ethan's bravery sent shockwaves through the community, a powerful reminder that truth matters, no matter how impossible the odds may seem. His courage in the face of authority proved that even when power is used unjustly, standing up for what's right can make all the difference. This story leaves us with a vital question. How many others have faced similar false accusations? How many innocent voices go unheard because society is too quick to judge? Ethan's story is a rallying cry for justice, a reminder to question authority and seek the truth, even when it feels like the whole world is against you. So, what would you do in Ethan's place? Are we brave enough to stand for justice, even when the odds seem insurmountable?